Patriot Prepper here, outside trying to clean up a little bit, and had a couple questions posed to me, and I think one of them came from another prepper YouTuber that had kind of elaborated on this question as far as networking with other people. I guess I've kind of been a prepper pretty much all my life before it was even named prepper. I don't know, I guess the uncertain nature of the way the family farm was, I always felt like you need to be prepared, either had food planted or whatever. And then when I got older, Y2K was coming up on us. So I bought up food, didn't think a whole lot about it. And a lot of people laughed at me, but I had 4 children, so I needed to make sure they were taken care of. And a wife, now ex-wife, but I had to make sure everybody was taken care of, including myself. I bought up meat, put it in the freezer. I was doing pretty good financially then, so I relied more on what I could buy than more what I could grow and raise. But I was prepared. There was another guy that was working with me at the time for my business. This guy probably bought $10,000 worth of ammo, and I kind of laughed about it, but maybe it wasn't such a bad investment. Ammo's kind of scarce, but you know, he was staying in a trailer park in a, you know, not a real desirable area, so how long could you hold out in a major shootout in that area? You know, you need to be a little bit more. And he had 2 little boys and a wife. And I think he bought a bunch of MREs as well, and I just don't like MREs. So I opted for canned goods and can openers, and I got a cook stove. I've had it since I was 16, 17, Coleman camping stove, and I've still got it. And so I had all that just in case I needed it. Same individual put me in touch with some guys who are preppers, and I met them, and I can't remember the exact town I met them in. It's been so long ago. Like I said, that's been, gosh, a little over 20 years ago, almost. Anyway, met these guys, and they wanted to perform or get together a network of like-minded individuals prepping. What they wanted was everybody to give them an inventory, and they wanted to even be called commander, and real military-like, but these guys weren't military, and they were pretty much money schemers. It was like the first 30 minutes I'd already sized these guys up. One of them said, you know, I could carry them to lunch, and they'd go further in detail, but it was up to me to buy the lunch. I said I weren't hungry. And then the other mutual person we knew had wanted to buy some stuff from him, so he wanted me to give him the money, then get it back from the other guy. And I told him, I said, I don't get in the middle of transactions. I said, that's up to y'all. I said, I just don't do it, won't do it. And you can kind of tell that brought a cold air in the room. And but I was supposed to provide them an inventory of what all I had, and money is available, silver, gold, and I thought these guys had put a bullet in me, so I just kind of blew it off and told them, well, I was just trying to get information. You know, I didn't know what the whole situation was about. And anyway, I had plenty of artillery and plenty of bullets. I could have held my own against them, and it just kind of turned me against having other people in the loop. Now, family members, I'll provide for them, and extended family, but when it comes to something like that, just to meet somebody out of the blue and then go into, you know, a partnership in a situation like that, for one thing, I've never seen these people under stress, you know, in a situation, in a shootout. You know, that is a very, very scary situation, and not knowing, you know, if these people can handle their own, or if they're going to go to pieces or ball up in the fetal position, you know, without having practice with them, and I had no desire to practice with them. I know my skills and ability. Not that I'm way ahead of anybody else or way less than anybody else, but when it comes down to it, I think I can hold my own for an indefinite period of time until that golden BB found me or I ran out of ammunition. But if you do network, make sure you know your people good. You know, I've got some friends that I would help. I've got some 5-gallon buckets of dried beans, rice, stuff I can keep in there with some oxygen eaters in there that I can give them, you know, hey, I've got 3 of these, I'll give you one. Not to mention I've got about 40 of them, but you know, it's enough protein to last somebody a few days. And if you're in a SHTF situation, you know, if you subsidize it with trapped meat and fish and stuff like that, you know, you make it go a long way. And not to mention, you know, you aren't going to be eating 3 good meals a day. You know, you eat a little bit for breakfast, get your day started where you can do your work, and eat you a good something between lunch and supper, maybe just a little snack before you go to bed. I always like a little something warm on my stomach right before I go to bed, so, you know, a soup or a broth of some sort suit me fine with some crackers in it. But you know, there's just no telling. A lot of people want to think, well, it's going to be like FEMA camps and stuff like that. I really don't see it as that. I can see it as a pandemic, a civil unrest or something like that occurs, and you're going to have to keep these people away from you. And you know, with the amount of government checks it puts out, if these checks ever get into a glitch situation where they aren't printed, people are going to make a run for it. And once things starts tearing up, it's going to take a while to get the whole logistics system back in place. And just to share a story, I'm making this one kind of a long video, but some years back I got spotted fever and pretty sick. Thought I was going to die. Ended up, I didn't never die, but felt like it quite a few occasions. But if it had not been for my stockpile of food and I had money put back, at the time it was a good economy then, but I had money put back and was able to maintain for a little while. Had to interrupt my video for a minute. Hound dog came up and wanted a little bit of petting. So, but if it had not been for my preparedness and pre-planning and food stocks and money, and I'd have lost everything I got. Not to mention I had bills, child support stuff that were still coming at me. And now, you know, I'm doing okay, but you know, the economy just isn't there. You know, I'm like a lot of Americans. You know, you get $4,000 or $5,000 something you've got to pay. That is a hard nut to crack. And not to mention, I had, you know, people who helped me out when I was sick, loaned me money and stuff that, you know, helped me out. And but it just pays to be prepared all the way around, just for, you know, storms. Here in the southeast, we get hurricanes. You know, snow isn't really that big an issue. We just had a mild snowstorm, but having a generator and, you know, fuel, you know, just in case, you know, you might not have to be prepared for months. You might have to be prepared for a week, 2 weeks. Stay alert and prepared, my fellow patriots. Patriot Pepper out.